For over 60 years now, they have been the embodiment of service in this community. And I certainly feel fortunate to call them friends and mentors, and I am honored this evening to be able to celebrate all of that success and all of the contributions that they've given. We have several guests who would like to say a few words, so I'm going to turn over the mic, and if you're ready, I will begin with our very own Senator Roger Vito.
Thank you very much. This is really my honor. I've lived in Fair Oaks for a little over 50 years now, and this couple had already shaped things, particularly in this village. By that time, I suppose we met maybe 25, 30 years ago, something like that. And I have resolutions here. You know, usually you have one resolution. Well, they do so much, we had to have two resolutions because they do so darn much stuff. One for Janet, one for Warren, and it has all of the details of their involvement, which I will not read because I'll be here. I'll take all the time of everybody else. But one of them describes it as the consummate volunteer. They are the consummate volunteers. Absolutely. They've both been involved in a lot of the same things, but Warren couldn't qualify for the Spiritual Women's Club. I'm told he tried. Maybe not. But they even have their fingerprints on this work that's being done here. So we, citizens of Fair Oaks, owe them a huge debt of gratitude. And this is the Senate districts and Assembly districts. This is from both Josh Hoover, something from Josh Hoover, and myself. This is our way of recognizing the tremendous work that you do. And thank you very much for that. I have to leave after this because...
Say something before you leave.
I will give the mic to you. I just want to explain that one of my granddaughters is a senior at Rio, and she's on the water polo team, and they're having a ceremony for the seniors tonight and a game, so I think I have to go there. Now, some of you may know that as a kid I was a competitive swimmer, and I tried water polo, but I had to give it up. My pony drowned. So with that, let me give the microphone to Warren. Okay.
Oh my God. Roger was the first processive Republican I ever knew.
Well, that is a real honor.
Politician. Thank you.
Thank you. And I got a phone call from you every year to donate to Houses in the Park, and it was just he would say, Roger, this is Warren, and I say yes. You can't say no to volunteers like that.
Please bear with me as we go through this stuff. First, I want to thank Keith. Doesn't work better. I'd like to thank Keith This was his brainchild. He put everything together, he did the whole thing. Had a lot of help, but he did all the singers. So I want to really thank you very much for this. I want to also thank everybody for coming. I mean, this is our tribute and something that we're very, very pleased to be a part of. For those of you who don't know me, I am Warren and Janet's oldest, youngest, tallest, and most handsome only son. I'm Warren III. My grandfather was Warren Sr. And obviously this gentleman right over here is Warren Jr. Growing up, whenever somebody addressed me as Warren Jr., I was very quick to point out that I'm not a junior. Before I go any further, I want to introduce my family. My lovely wife, Linda. My daughter, Sharon. My niece, Monica. And my lovely granddaughter, McKenna. These are the ladies that support me every day. And I love them all. We're going to hear a lot of things tonight about my folks and their devotion to this hamlet of Fair Oaks. And it has a pretty significant history here. If I make it through this, I'm going to attempt to paint a picture of kind of parents that they were. A kid couldn't ask for a better childhood. All children have to make. They don't have to share with anybody. We don't have to worry about people taking out stuff. And you get all the attention. So being an only child is pretty cool. In my immediate family here, we actually have a only children's club because McKenna and Shannon, Monica, and I all only children. And I think we did okay. My folks made sure that I fully understood the basics. And those basics consisted, in my point of view, of understanding right from wrong, knowing where education fits, and of course philanthropy. My folks taught me to make good decisions and to make them the first time whenever you possibly could. And to own up to your mistakes and make things right as soon as possible. Celebrate your victories and don't dwell on your mistakes. I learned very, very quickly that there were consequences for your actions. And I also learned that the truth was always the best policy. You learn these things pretty quickly when you're 10 or 12 years old and your dad's the assistant postmaster. And he has 25 or 30 of his best buddies driving all over Fair Oaks 6 days a week in those little red, white, and blue right-hand drive trucks. It was relatively often that trouble beat me home. Education, when you have a mother who's a school teacher, it meant that going to college was not an option. Going to college was something that you did after high school. In my case, grad school was next, and then after all that schooling, they got to call their son doctor. Philanthropy, both of my parents always taught me to give generously myself. I didn't always have to be a monetary gift, but to always give to those that were less fortunate and help out whenever you could. They both led by example in organizations like Rotary and Interwheel. And I chose to get involved in Big Brothers and Big Sisters, which led to Serve Young Professionals, which then led to a 12-year stint on Tower Hospital's Foundation Board. So they laid the groundwork for me to become very successful in life, and all I had to do was just not mess it up. I love analogies, and just ask my wife and daughter, they've heard all of them. I constantly and using analogies when I explain procedures to the families of the children that I treat. And I thought of one as I was writing this. Linda and I recently returned from a trip from the Midwest, and we spent a week with 30 of our best friends in French Lick, Indiana. On our way home from French Lick to Nashville, we stopped at a Buc-ee's. Anybody ever been to Buc-ee's? All right. For those of you who don't know about Buc-ee's, it is it's the world's largest gas station, but it's way more than a gas station. The place is huge. It has like 27 gas pumps, every food that you could possibly imagine, camping supplies, souvenirs, you name it. They're best known for having the cleanest bathrooms in the country. All right, so this place it's amazing. It's as big as Walmart, and they're all over the Midwest, all over the South, they're everywhere. They sell virtually everything you can imagine. I cannot imagine anything that you cannot get there. Just like I cannot imagine anything my parents could have done differently raising me. Thank you all for being here. It's going to be great program. Hold on a second.
I love my family.
Hello everybody, I'm Kim Attila, the Executive Director, or I should say the CEO President of the Fair Chamber of Commerce. And I've been here on the spot tonight because I have nothing prepared, so this is all coming from my heart. I just want to say that Warren and Janet, you have been a blessing in our life in this community. I came to the Chamber back in 2013 as I started out volunteering with the Chamber back in 2006, and I would see Warren and Janet around, but I really got to get close to them back in 2013, and I met them for Christmas in the Village, and that's when you guys were doing the hot cocoa. And Warren, he's always been so kind and so gracious to me. And I know you have done so much in this community, and I love working with you guys on our concert committee. Always say, how much money do we need for concerts? I will get you the sponsors. And he was calling, and people would say no to you at all. They were there, and they said, Warren, us will give you some money. So you guys have put on a great thing in our community, and we are so thankful to have you. And in honor of you guys, the Chamber is going to grant you guys 2 chairs into our amphitheater in your honor for doing all that you have done.
You got out of my seat. You got out of my seat. Kid.
What? Oh, now am I in trouble?
Hey, no, I'm Ralph Carhart. I was fortunate you guys elected me to the park board in 2002. We have a resolution that was passed at our last board meeting. And I know we don't like to spend a lot of time on these things, but it needs to be read because it recounts all the wonderful things that Janet and Warren have done over the years. So this is a proclamation honoring Janet and Warren McWilliams for a lifetime of service to the girls' community. Talk louder. Hello. Talk louder. Yeah. Well, this is the first event we've had in the this is the first event that we have in the restored and upgraded facilities here at Village Park. And
Talk into the microphone.
I'm getting used to the new facilities too, like microphone. So two things really warmed my heart today. One was being about 3 dozen children out there crawling all over the new plate, because that's what we wanted to do, was make this good for another couple of generations. And this event, I've known Janet Warren many, many years, and I love them. And let me finish this proclamation. Whereas the Fair Oaks Recreation Park District holds as one of its highest values the recognition and celebration of dedicated individuals who have given selflessly and tirelessly to the advancement, enrichment, and well-being of the Fair Oaks community. Whereas Janet Warren McWilliams have, over the course of many decades, devoted themselves as volunteers, leaders, and champions of Fair Oaks, exemplifying a rare and enduring commitment to service, compassion, and civic engagement. Whereas Warren McWilliams has served the Rotary Club of Fair Oaks with distinction, including as president, and has provided visionary leadership in the organization for numerous fundraisers, projects, philanthropic initiatives, all of which have fostered positive change in Fair Oaks. Warren's support is extended to generous financial contributions, which have strengthened both Rotary International and the Fair Oaks Rotary Foundation, empowering these institutions to broaden their impact. Whereas Janet McWilliams has rendered exemplary service through her leadership in Inner Wheel Fair Oaks, having served as club president, event organizer, and tireless advocate for local and international service projects, with particular focus on the welfare of children and persons with disabilities. Whereas Janet and Warren have, Warren have been valued and active members of the Fair Oaks Historical Society, with Warren honored for serving 4 times as its president, including vital support of the History Center at the village, ensuring that the legacy and stories of Fair Oaks are passed on to future generations. Whereas their devotion to arts and culture is evidenced through their engagement with the Fair Oaks Foundation for Leadership in the Arts, supporting the beloved concerts in the park and the Fair Oaks Theater Festival, and fostering the vibrant cultural ecosystem that brings neighbors together in celebration. Whereas Janet Warren played instrumental roles in the committees responsible for the memorable planning and realization of the 1995 Fair Oaks Centennial Celebration, as well as the creation and ongoing success of the iconic Fair Oaks Chicken Festival, one of the usual suspects two of the usual suspects that founded that event. Whereas Warren is fondly remembered for his dedicated service as assistant postmaster in Fair Oaks, and for his helpful presence in the village epicenter, Oaks Hardware. Janet's distinguished career as a teacher and reading specialist in the San Juan Unified School District has positively impacted countless children, igniting them a love of learning and opening doors to opportunity, thus strengthening the fabric of our schools. Whereas Janet Warren's steadfast engagement with a variety of organizations, including Rotary, Inner Wheel, the Women's Thursday Club, the Historical Society, and partner groups throughout the community, continues to inspire friends, neighbors, and newcomers. And whereas the service, leadership, and unwavering commitment have generated a lasting legacy of trust, fellowship, and civic pride, now therefore be proclaimed by the Fair Oaks Recreation Park District that Janet and Warren McWilliams are hereby recognized and honored for their extraordinary lifetime of service. And this was passed on September 17th by the full board, no exceptions.
Hi everyone. First, I would just love to welcome you all for being here. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you truly for your contribution.
Sorry about that. There we go. Well, hi
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here, and it's truly an honor to be able to honor you for all of your hard work, Janet and Warren. It is so impressive to see what you've done for this community throughout the years, and I would just like to thank you for your community service as well as your dedication to all of those around you. I can see from everyone who has spoken about you the significant impact that you have had on this community. So I would just like to thank both of you for that. And now I will read our resolution. It is a little bit long, so I may end a little bit early through. So by the Honorable Roger W. McWilliams, 6th Senatorial District, and the Honorable Josh Hoover, 7th Assembly District, relative to commending Janet McWilliams. Whereas Janet McWilliams, a retired teacher and distinguished member of the Fair Oaks community, has contributed extensively to people throughout the state of California by the means of her endeavors, and as a tribute to her exemplary record of community service, she is deserving of special public commendations. And whereas devoting a great part of her life to educate youths, Janet McWilliams served as a teacher for many years and is a nationally recognized reading specialist. She co-authored the Source of Success reading textbooks that have been utilized across the country. And whereas, having launched a Concert in the Park event for the Fair Oaks Carmichael celebration in 1995, Janet and her husband Warren co-founded the Fair Oaks Foundation for the Return of the Arts. And the couple have held membership with the Fair Oaks Chamber of Commerce since 1995 and served multiple times as Grand Marshals of the Fair Oaks Christmas Parade. And whereas affectionately known as Mr. and Mrs. Fair Oaks, Janet and Warren are founding members of the Society of the Rising Moon, a whimsical, community-spirited group that has brought joy to many local residents. And they have donated generously to the Fair Oaks Rotary Club, Inner-Wheel Club of Fair Oaks, and Fair Oaks Theater Festival, in addition to providing support for renovations for the local amphitheater. Thank you guys so much. Resolved by Senator Roger W. McWilliams and Assemblymember Josh Hoover, District 7, California State Assembly, that they recognize and thank Janet McWilliams for a lifetime of achievements and meritorious service to humanity, and convey best wishes that her indomitable efforts will continue to inspire generations to come. Congratulations, Joint Members Resolution Number 256, dated this 30th of September 2025. Thank you again for your incredible service to our community, and congratulations.
Thank you all for coming. I will bet you bet that I've known Warren and Janet, or Warren anyway, longer than anybody in the room. I've known him 72 years, and I call him Uncle Warren. Warren is my mother's brother, and I would just like to say that between he and Aunt Janet, they were an integral part of our family. And when Tracy, Warren III, we called him Tracy, came along, he became our 7th sibling. My sisters and brothers are here tonight, my cousins are here, my other cousins are here, and we just would like to thank you all for coming and honoring Aunt Janet and Uncle Warren as you did tonight. Thank you. I feel like I should know some of you. I'm Carol Johnston. Prior to that, I was Carol Sherman, and Myrna Lee Sherman's daughter. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Marilyn Pierce, and I've been in Fair Oaks for a very long time, and joined you in many different things along the way, but I was asked to speak to the State Club of Fair Oaks for the things that Janet was involved with. So let me see if I can do a good job of that. The year was 1993, and Janet McWilliams received an invitation in the mailbox. She was quoting this thing, oh my gosh, I finally arrived. And so, oh, closer to my voice. So, thank you. I just started over and see if I can get the nice screen. The year was 1993, and Janet McWilliams received an invitation in her mailbox. She was quoted as saying, oh my gosh, I finally arrived. Her mom had been a member of the Women's Thursday Club in Fair Oaks, and so she felt very honored. Early on, she served on the board, chair of the scholarship committee, for Penny Pines. Janet was our treasurer for 10 years. She took minutes of the monthly general meetings. She chaired the book section for 20 years and passed the torch on to Wendy Beer this year. She enjoyed playing bridge on Thursdays.
You did something.
With her, and she also participated in her garden and fiber art sections. Janet was honored with a lifetime membership. With grace, friendship, and generous support, she made the women's walk better. We also have to you and Warren, and for your service. It's appropriate, because this is a Fair Oaks Historical Society meeting, that I have the letters to say that Janet and I made decorations for the Soup Nights Committee. Thank you for that. Such a good time together in the work that we've been doing.
Wow, there's a lot of people in this room. Hi, everybody. If we have not met, my name is Kendra Johnson, and I'm here on behalf of Sacramento County Supervisor Rich Desmond, as well as our Chief of Staff, Vanessa, who wanted to send her best wishes to you. She reminded me today that you both were part of the Dems for Dave, back when she worked for Senator Dave Cox, and that is one of her most fond memories of you both. I also have a nice framed resolution signed by all of the Board of Supervisors. I'm not going to read it though, because I think that what's in here is fantastic, but what is even a better message is how full this room is of love and well wishes and people that have memories with you that go back years and years. And I don't think I would do it justice by reading this to you. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming into this community and being two of the nicest and kindest people and really making this your home and making it a wonderful place for everybody else to come. In this line of work, I don't see a lot of people like you. And I think that again, the people in this room, that's a testament to everything that you've done. So, all of that aside, on behalf of Sacramento County Supervisor Rich Desmond and the entire Board of Supervisors, we just want to recognize you and thank you for everything that you have done for Fair Oaks, and like my friend Elaine said, for being affectionately known as his or Mrs. Fair Oaks. So thank you so much.
So I was another one that was asked at the last minute to speak. And where do I start? I'm Becky Dawn Post. I'm a native Farokian. How many years old? 76. I've been here 76 years. And actually my dad was a teacher at San Juan High School, and he taught Warren. So, and then I was a school nurse in the San Juan district. and Janet and I were colleagues together at Fair Oaks Elementary. So our lives have woven in and out in a lot of different ways, a lot of different levels. And now I'm in Interwheel. I've been in Interwheel since 1984. I've been with the Fair Oaks Club now 3 years. And Janet and I worked together on a literacy project. Imagine that, literacy. So she was the chairman for that, and with the district, in District 519, she served as our district chair. And then during the COVID, she was elected without asking. She got to be district chair again during COVID. She just never says no. And Warren, as well, never says no. They're beautiful people. They've created and sustained a beautiful community, and I thank you for that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words.
I'm going to assume that you can all hear me without the microphone. I would like to now present them with the cake so that we can begin cutting and distributing it while we have some additional speakers who are going to talk to us. I haven't forgotten all of you. You will absolutely get a chance. I just want to make sure that we get everyone out of here at a reasonable hour. So indulge me for just a moment while I share the cake with them. For those of you who can't see in the back, it says, "Thank you, Janet and Warren, for your service." Betsy, would you like to present?
Okay, can you hear me? No, not at all. Turn it on. Oh, wait, it's on.
Okay, can you hear me now? I'm Betsy Alberts. I'm the president of Rotary and I'm part of Interwheel. And we want to recognize Janet and Warren for all their service to education. So in their honor, we are donating $1,000 to the Support Education Fund through International Rotary, which is part of the Rotary Foundation. And I do want to say a couple quick words. Janet was the treasurer of Interville for many, many years while I was part of it. And we all wanted to make sure we got everything through Janet so we could get money. And she was so wonderful as a teacher, and then with all the literacy programs she did through Interville, which Becky will attest to. And Warren was one of the big poobahs of Rotary. He was a president, and he was a major donor for many years and still is. And so we just want to tell you how much we love you and thank you for everything you did to Rotary, do for and still do for Rotary. And just on one little personal level, my husband died about 13 years ago. And Warren and Janet were so good to my daughter, who was 15 at the time that he died. And I just love you both so much. Thank you for being the most caring, loving individuals.
This is the one that works. All right, we're good. Hi everyone, my name is Joshua McCall. I am a field representative for Congressman Tommy Bear's office. I just want to take a couple moments up here to recognize our people of the hour, Janet and Warren McWilliams, or as many people have said, more known as Mr. and Mrs. Oaks. From their involvement with the countless organizations that you've been a part of over the years, the McWilliams have had a heavy hand in building and shaping the community we see today. Through their dedication, their example, through their love of Fair Oaks, they've inspired countless others. I suspect there might be a couple of them in this room to get together and to get involved. As a fellow Fair Oakian, I just want to say thank you for all you've done. And on behalf of Congressman Rivera, I'm happy to present you with certificates of congressional recognition to help celebrate and thank you for your decades of service to the community of Fair Oaks. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. What a wonderful, wonderful evening it is. My name is Rick Boyer. I was postmaster in Fair Oaks for about 20 years. And back in 1984, when Warren was working at the post office and Janet was building an illustrious career in education, Warren was doing a little bit of educating on his own, too. He welcomed a young man as postmaster in Fair Oaks, and I knew who I could count on, and I knew who I had to go to, and I knew who was going to make me successful as well as the Fair Oaks post office. And that's Mr. McWilliams here. So good job educating, and a great job to you for your educating, Janet. After listening to all the awards and all the titles, Mr. and Mrs. Fair Oaks, which went well, as everybody said, I believe that there is one title that I would like to bestow. Even though I am no longer with the Postal Service, I believe that about 20 years ago, the power I have invested in myself on behalf of your United States Postal Service, I would like to recognize Warren McWilliams as honorary postmaster for life. Thank you so much for what you did for me and the community. And again, going back to those titles, they're all wonderful. But the title I can think of is friend. And that's what I call Warren, my friend, and I'm so proud to do that. Warren, thank you so much for everything you've done. Again, thank you. Thank you.
My notes here are all forget. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathy Smallhouse. I've known Warren and Janet for probably over 30 years. And I just wanted to thank them personally for all the support they provided me. And it's the support of two significant organizations that we both belong to. That would be the Fair Oaks Theater Festival and Fair Oaks Rotary. I just want to share with you a little story about my relationship with the Fair Oaks Rotary. I was invited to join the Rotary back in 1992 as the first female to join the Rotary. Thanks to a Supreme Court ruling in 1986, Rotary clubs were required to admit women into clubs. Rumor has it, Warren was not happy about it. Warren objected to allowing women in his Rotary club. However, I don't think he was objecting to me personally. It was just women in general. And also, rumor had it that several wives objected to allowing women in the club. Needless to say, hearing the opposition, I was a little concerned about becoming the first woman member. But after becoming a member of Rotary, Warren and others clearly see that I was a good addition to the club and a hard worker. I won over Warren's doubts and his heart. He and Janet both became one of my biggest supporters in everything I did in the community. So as Sally Fields said, when he accepted the Academy Award, he likes me, he really likes me. Thank you to both of you for supporting the theater and Rotary and me. Thanks.
Sorry, we just have so many people. I want to make sure I haven't forgotten anyone. Is there anyone else? Ah. All right, come on up. Our wonderful students from Meraki. Can I get you all to give them a hand? And while you're doing that, they are busy serving cake. If you would like a piece and you haven't yet received it, please raise your hand so they can find you. And in honor of FOFA, which is the Fair Oaks Foundation for Leisure and Arts, which these two wonderful people were instrumental in creating, we have some ice cream left over from this year's concerts in the park. So if you would like some ice cream with your cake, let the servers know and we'll make that happen for you, okay?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gwen Weaver, and I'm representing the Fair Oaks Theater Festival, Kathy and Dan Smallhouse, Karen Rosebeer, and myself. We've been part of the board for many years, but my thought of standing here is to stand here and recognize two wonderful stewards of our Fair Oaks community and of my own personal friendship with Warren and Janet. For the last 30 years, Warren and Janet have made themselves available to the community of Fair Oaks through various channels. One of its channels is the Fair Oaks Theater Festival. Warren and Janet, thank you for your many hours and contributions provided to the theater. You two were there from the beginning, and that's early 90s, when we did our first corned beef and cabbage in front of the hardware store, up through the one held last, and that was 2019 at the clubhouse. Always willing to help our theater where we needed. Ushering at place, working, snack bar concession, and your generous monetary contributions, raffle gift donations. Warren and Janet, you two have been wonderful friends to us all. We thank you. In closing, it's sad we no longer have Fair Oaks Theater Festival, but wishing Fair Oaks good luck in the next chapter in the community. From all of us, the Fair Oaks board members, volunteers, friends, we salute you. Thank you for showing up.
And last but not least, the Fair Oaks Historical Society would like to thank Janet and Warren for all of their continuous love and support. And we also wanted to thank you for inviting all of us to come to get together and celebrate. It's wonderful to see all friends, some that I used to teach with and haven't seen in a long time. So on this special occasion, let us all think some really wonderful thoughts about Janet and Warren and about how they have enhanced our community. And let's hope that each of us will accept the challenge that they have passed along to us tonight and be the best that Fair Oaks has to offer. Thank you.
We have about 15 minutes before we're supposed to be vacating this building. Before we go, I have some thank yous. One of them is obviously to Claudia and the wonderful members of the Fair Oaks Historical Society, to whom you could not have done this event this evening. Another was to the members of Folklore, who have helped put on this evening's event. We've already talked about the wonderful volunteers from Meraki, who, again, have been invaluable. Thank you very much, Carissa, for once again stepping up and making all of this possible. I was asked a question earlier. Some people wanted to make donations. I believe you had a basket circulating. Carissa, if you're still listening, if the basket is still around, maybe you could let people know where it is in case they want to make additional donations. Okay? I spoke earlier about the park district. Obviously, none of this would have been possible had this beautiful facility not been made available to us this evening. So thank you again for that. Thank you to all of our representatives who have shown up this evening with resolutions. And of course, the final thank you has to go to the McWilliams, for whom none of this would have been possible. And so let me ask, would either of you like to say something before we wrap this up this evening? All right, I'm shocked that Warren would actually like to say something. And before I hand him the mic, because I probably won't get it back, I'm being reminded that these beautiful flowers that were provided for this night tonight are free to go home. We're just asking that you please leave the vases. So take the flowers, leave the vases.
It's a little hard for me to talk, but all those nice things that are said about I don't know what to cry. I want to reintroduce my old boss. It was a wonderful boss. We've been done really well. Anyway, I wanted to introduce Jim Cobain. Stand up, Jim.
Stand up, Jim. Come on, Jim.
We've been friends for over 15 years. Couples. Been to lots of dropping together. There's a lot of money. Anyway, he has always been almost my best male friend. And then I lost the one I had with Bruce Porter. I don't know what else to say except that a wonderful son is here. And his wife puts her hand down. And his daughter raised her hand. My niece here, I know this is unusual. We never thought we'd have a grandchild. Shannon, but yeah, she's not married. She's a darling. That's good. Thank my caregivers. The best in the world. If you ever have a place to meet for a friend or probably to go and stay for the night, that'll be a good one. That's Chicago. What's his name? Oh yeah. I just found out his name is Clyde.
Loveland Stadium yet. Julio and Wyatt.
Trudy's.
Oh, yeah. Truly best friends. Very dear friends. Truly helped me with a lot of things. And she comes to see us. It's wonderful. I don't know how long she's gone.
Give some more
Okay, I hope I can get through all of this. It's been very difficult the last few days.
Where is she?
I'm right here. I want to thank Papa for what she has tonight. Papa is in addition to Pharaoh that Warren and I helped make. We were chairman, quote unquote, of the third centennial. At the end of the centennial, we decided that it would have been nice if we had a way to actually, our final offering for that third centennial was bringing the second symphony to the park here. And of course, it costs a lot of money to do that. And we did find sponsors. And then we thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if we had an organization that could,
There she is. Like that.
that could actually help serve that purpose. And that's what Thoughtful was formed. We had some people who are interested in supporting the community. And so ever since that time, we just been, I don't know how many years, 15, 20 years ago, we had a Thoughtful operating, and if you had bought ice cream at the concerts in the park, the ice cream has been used, the money we raised from that, to do some wonderful things in our community. Part of it is the Kathy Jones walk that is around Phoenix Park. I think that was a $10,000 project. So a lot of drinking fountains have been placed in the park over the years through Thoughtful. And we have help sponsorships in order to do that. The other few little things I wanted to do is, I've been here a lot longer than Warren. My folks fell in love. My dad was from McClellan Air Force Base. He was part of the original group that came up here from Rockwell Field in San Diego to form that base. And he was an aircraft mechanic and served all during World War II. And during that time he became the boss at maintenance and repair at McClellan. And during that time, one of the couples that we would come out and visit lived on Billiport. And in fact, tonight, one of our dearest friends, Janice McWilliams, is here. And she lived there on Billiport with me, and there was this time that I knocked on the door at their house and said, "Do you have a little girl that lives here?" And Janice and I became friends ever since. So we ended up, because we were building a house and didn't have any place to live, we ended up living, you all know where the townhouse used to be, at the end of the street. We had the bottom story of that and rented it for a couple of years. So my mom and dad were building the home at the end of Billiport. And anyway,
ended up that we became very involved with the community, and all went through grade school here. Warren didn't join until I was about in 5th or 6th grade. Being 4.5, 5 years older than me, we were never in school together until high school. And at that point, Janice and her husband Jim, it became we were asked out on a blind date, which it was only for a very short time after Warren decided that there was another gal in town.
That was good news for me.
So how'd you get back together?
Well, it didn't take long because there was one day, and he had just gotten out of the service, and it was time for him to visit his buddy in Alabama. And decided that I remember we made one. At that time, it was a very expensive phone call. It was like $25 that it cost to
Make the phone call.
make the phone call to Alabama. And it was hard at that time to actually get that into the budget. There wasn't a budget because Janet, at that point, was going to school. And I knew the village in those early days when the Plaza Market, I'd go there in the mornings and ask for a sweet roll and probably brought me coffee, and I know I was a regular there. So it was really interesting. We had the whole bottom floor of that. It's an apartment house now. And Dr. Sloan and Archer had just bought the building across the street, and we put co-lenders in now. And during that time, we became friends of people here in Fairlands, and I think they befriended us. So the romance grew pretty quickly. I can remember that we had an engagement party in July, and my dad said we were going to get married that July. And the guy said, don't you think you could wait a little while? And so anyway, we said no. But Janice got to finish school, and that was an important decision because we figured out how. And she had to finish school, and at the same time raise a child, because that child who's here tonight was born in July, in December of that following year. And I mentioned Janice's mother. The really neat thing that happened is that her mother became our babysitter. And she took him at 6 weeks and had him through 3rd grade. And so I think that we have to congratulate her mom for that, because I think it made a difference.
Wow.
Okay. I'm hoping that, I know I mentioned Papa earlier, and I'm hoping that now that they are going to combine with full day, that they will also continue the work that we've been doing in the last few years with the concerts.
And I know that's a big ask, but I'm sure that they will. Because I think we have a good base that we can grow on. It's a nice fundraising possibility for a group of people. It doesn't take, it takes the Thursday nights during the summer, but other than that, not a whole lot of extra time. But I thank you all for coming tonight. I thank you all for being citizens of Fair Oak.
So I'll say something, just a few short words here. And we're here for Warren and Janet, and I just want to say, job well done. Job well done, guys. Thank you for caring. Thank you for giving to Ferris, its people, and the community. And I'm proud to be one of a few very important caregivers to you, Warren, and to you, Janet. Thank you.
If they feel up to it, I'm sure they would love to hear from you before leaving tonight. Pictures may be available. There is a guest book that is circulating. If you have not had a chance, I would encourage everyone to please sign the guest book before we give that to Warren and Janet. And if you have the time, we would love some help cleaning up this evening. So thank you all very much, and good night.